Thank you, everybody, for joining us today on our JobNimbus 101 webinar. We are so excited to have you here with us this morning. I'm Daniel, and today I have with me one of our product managers, our product manager over the integrations team.
That's right. My name is Ryan Walker. Excited to be with everybody this morning, show you some exciting things that we're doing to help you collect payments.
We are super excited to talk about how you're currently collecting payments and how you can use global payments to really level up your business and have them collect payments for you. So let's jump into it. The way that you're most likely collecting payments right now is through JobNimbus. You'll have to go into a contact. So let's go into Bob Barris, since we already have an invoice for him. Go into financials. You've already received the payment from Bob. So now it's time to record it right here by clicking on Add Payment. Right here, when you start to add your payment, you'll need to record a lot of things, such as a reference number. Now, this reference number is specifically for you and your company. It is just to reference what payment it was, so you can find it in your account. This reference number should be unique for each payment that you record in JobNimbus. Now, if you haven't received the full $5,145, but instead received a portion, you'll need to then record that, change this amount in JobNimbus. You then will need to specify what date you received that payment and tell JobNimbus what kind of payment it was, what kind of method they use, such as cash, credit card, or check. Once you have all of that information, you can then save the payment in your account. Now that's a lot of steps. So let's simplify it and make it easier for you.
Yeah, and to take the steps one step further, no pun intended, there are a lot of other steps that I think many contractors and customers of ours forget about or don't think about. So what I'm speaking to are the steps that are taken to actually get that check or cash in hand, right? So ideally you complete the job, and as you're going through a final walkthrough, the customer hands you a check and you're off to the races and there's no issue. But we all know that's not often the reality of how that happens. So days or even weeks later, you have, whether it's your production person or a sales rep that closed that deal, is chasing down, trying to capture that check because they didn't have checks on hand or whatever it might be. Then you also have the time spent going to the bank, taking that check to the bank and processing that. And each of these roles that are doing these tasks could be doing other things that are more important. They could be closing the next deal. They could be working on that next job that might be a little bit behind schedule, and this is making them more behind schedule. That office person could be scheduling more appointments, whatever it might be. And so there are a lot of hidden costs. Time is money, right? And so those hidden costs add up and are making you less efficient and less profitable than you might think you're being. So let's talk about how collecting digital payments is going to help solve that issue. So here's a invoice that we created previously with the payments integration enabled. And you'll notice a key difference here in this invoice. There is now this make a payment button. So when you email this invoice out to the customer, they receive it, a PDF, they open that PDF, they can now click this button and make a payment straight from their phone or computer, wherever they might be accessing that. So in this case, let's say they want to move forward and make a credit card payment. All they have to do is come in, and I'll do it. This is a demo account, so you aren't stealing my credit card information if you're taking screenshots right now. But I'll enter some information here, and we'll process this demo payment here. So that goes through, and we'll get a confirmation screen here that the payment has been made. So this is what, again, the homeowner is seeing, your customer is seeing, thanking them for the payment, letting them know a receipt is going to be sent to their email. Great thing on your side, as the business side of things, you'll receive an email as well, letting you know a payment has been processed. And now we'll jump back and show you what that looks like within JobNimbus. So we'll go back, navigate to the contact, go to financials. And we are going to see that what previously had the invoice amount and paid a zero amount now shows that amount that was paid. The status is automatically converted to closed because in this case, we recorded a full payment. And then down here under payments, it has that specific payment logged as well. You can also jump back into the invoice And you'll see now that there is a very clearly delineated paid mark on this invoice. You also see the payment logged within the invoice PDF and that the balance remaining is 0. Obviously, if it was a partial payment, it would do the math for you and show the remaining amount. The great thing about that as well, if a customer makes a partial payment and then wants to make that final payment a few days later, a week later, whatever the arrangement might be, when they click the make a payment button that would still be there, it will automatically update with that remaining balance and enable them to know exactly what amount they need to still pay on that.
That is pretty slick. Thanks for showing that off. Now, Ryan, I know that when we first started using global payments, a lot of people had questions about how they can handle their credit card fees.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of questions on that front.
Yeah, and so we're going to show you how you can do that. It's actually pretty easy. When you go to your settings, you don't have to talk to global payments at all. It's handled right here in your account. So in your settings, you go down to the payments tab, and you see when you're using global payments, you have this area right here to specify how you want to handle your credit card fee. Now you see that we have the middle way of handling credit card fees already highlighted because that's what we're currently using, the build fee into margin. Now, what this does is it will take the credit card fee and it will split it up proportionately among all your different line items. This right here will help you maintain your profitability and help you manage your credit card fee without you even having to think about it. Now, there's another way that you can use to handle your credit card fee, and that is not passing it on to your customer at all. Now, this is for the people that already have a process in place. You already have a way to manage that fee by creating your estimates and invoices already. You do not need JobNimbus to automate that handling for you. Now, there is a third way I haven't touched on yet, and that's to the far right, and that's passing fees to customers. Now, we already have an invoice built out to show this off.
Yeah, perfect. Let's jump over. So obviously credit cards are not free either, right? We talked about hidden costs of collecting payment via traditional methods like a cash or a physical check. And we know that you're going to get hit with credit card fees. And so we enabled these features to enable you to have options on how to do that. And this is another option that makes the customer aware that they are going to pay an additional cost for the credit card fee if they choose that method. So let me show you what that looks like. You'll see some key differences here in the invoice that they would receive. So you'll notice that this kind of total section down here is now split up into 2 areas, and they're delineated by these titles here to make it very clear that when paying by cash or check, which includes a cash payment, a check, physical check payment, or electronic check, if you choose to get enabled with that in the payments integration, that the amount that would be due on that would be just the base $7,000 in this case. However, they are also clearly made aware that if they are paying by credit card, that there is going to be a charge of $203.29 in this case added to their total balance due. So to show you what that looks like when they go to make that payment, I'll click in here and you'll see again very consistently that invoice total is $7,000, but because they're paying with the credit card, they're going to incur that little over $200 additional fee, and their total amount that's going to be charged to their card will be that amount there. So that's a really easy way. If you don't want to add that into your margin and increase your total, estimate amount or bid amount, that $7,000 in this case is what you wanted to make as your bid and estimate, then this is a great option for you, because then you can just call out in the estimate and the invoice that if paid by credit card, there will be an additional charge added to that at the time of transaction.
Oh, thank you. That concludes our demo portion of our webinar. Before we get into Q&A, I'd love to give you some resources that we have for you, because JobNimbus wants you to succeed. And because of that, we have the Crew event. The Crew event is where you can come to our office for a couple of days, hang out with us, and talk to other people in the industry about how you can use JobNimbus to really level up your business. You can also talk to us about what you want to see JobNimbus do to help you out even more. So go to jobnimbus.com/events to sign up for the Crew today. We also have more webinars coming. Next week, we have a webinar about obstacles that you may run into while using JobNimbus and how you can overcome those obstacles. So sign up for what you should know about JobNimbus coming up next week. If you're in JobNimbus, if you're logged in and you want more resources, see that little icon with the question mark? It's down in the bottom left corner of your screen. Click on it. We have so many resources for you. Not only just those, but we also have our YouTube channel. We have our previous webinars up there. We also have other videos on YouTube for you. So go ahead, go check out our YouTube channel, like and subscribe. We have our knowledge-based articles at support.jobnimbus.com that talk you through anything in JobNimbus, their how-tos, ways to set up your account, all of that. There's also a whole section on payments and using global payments to receive your payments. If you have any other questions about JobNimbus and you just want to talk to a person, our support team is happy to help. There's our number and our email address. So go ahead and contact our support team. They are more than happy to help you with JobNimbus because we all want to see you succeed. We want to open it up to Q&A. So go ahead and chat in your questions.
First one from Jennifer asking, what if our company doesn't take credit card payments? Can it be set up for ACH? So yeah, great question. The whole idea here would be that if you wanted to start collecting via credit card and make that an option for your customers, this integration would be a great opportunity to do so. But obviously you can toggle, as Dan navigated here, on either where it says allow credit card payments or allow e-check. These toggles enable you to turn on or off across your entire account, whether you're accepting each payment option there. So there are easy ways to configure that. Let's see, Cooper, you mentioned a notification when the payment is received. Can you set who is notified, or how is that set? Great question, Cooper. This is one that we're receiving some feedback as we've launched this integration on. Right now, the way it works is the homeowner obviously receives a receipt, which is a given, right? But then also, right now, it's the sales rep that was assigned to that contact is the one that would receive that notification. Any other questions out there? That looks like all that we've received so far, but we have plenty of time for more if there's any others.
Yeah, and please type them in. Like I said, you have the chat. You also have Q&A. And if you don't type in questions, then you'll have to suffer with terrible dad jokes that I tell. Or if Ryan has any dad jokes, I'd love to hear them.
My dad jokes are too spot. I need my kids in my room to roll their eyes at, or else they don't happen. All right, we have an official request for a dad joke there.
Well, you brought it up. You know, when a joke becomes a dad joke.
What's that?
It becomes apparent.
Welcome to JobNimbus webinars, everybody.
We're here every Friday.
Any other questions out there?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be global payments related. It can be anything in JobNimbus.
Is there a plan to incorporate Google Maps to create customer form?
Ooh, that is an excellent question. So are you meaning the forms in JobNimbus right here in this area?
Yeah, Sean, can you clarify what you mean by creating a customer form? Oh, so maybe go to create a contact, maybe. Because
we could also be meaning. See here, I gotta move this right here. At a contact, because are you meaning this right here, this area? Yes, when creating a customer. That is actually excellent feedback. I don't think that that's currently on our radar to incorporate Google Maps there. I do know that we can, when you create an address, when you add an address to the contact, when you go into your calendar, you can use Google Maps there to see where your calendar is. And if you're on the mobile app, you can use the Maps feature we have to search for your contacts. But that is excellent feedback, and I will send that to our dev team. And you're already on our dev team, so
I'm here. Yeah, so that would be an integration that we would definitely consider, and so we'll take that feedback and add it to our customer feedback pool.
Thank you.
Let's see. All right, Cooper, when will the new app be officially released?
Now, are you meaning the Android app or the iOS, the Apple app? Because the Apple app is already released. The Android app is getting close. In fact, a little sneak peek into next month's webinars, we are doing a full month on the Android app.
So Cooper, one way to identify if you have the new app, it is the white background with the blue JobNimbus logo on it.
Yes.
So the blue background with the white logo is old. White background with blue logo is new. So an easy way to delineate. As you mentioned, iOS has been out for a few months and Android is coming very, very soon.
Yes.
All right, we've got another question that just came in. Can you create multiple addresses for one contact? Say past clients like realtors or investors that have multiple properties.
We actually have a feature for you to add multiple addresses to one contact, especially when you're working with realtors and investors that have multiple properties, and that is the jobs feature. When you're using jobs, we suggest that your contacts become a phone book, and that is it. They are just a way to contact your clients, and you'll have one contact for your investor or your realtor. And then when you enable jobs, which I clicked on the wrong tab, when you enable the jobs feature, this is where you'll create your projects, and you can have different addresses for each project. And then you relate them to that primary contact who you call for those projects. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a great way to organize, create a hierarchy. Contact is the primary person that you're interacting with at the overall account level. And then jobs would be the individual addresses and or projects that you're doing at those addresses.
Yep. So you give job a name, an address, and then right here with related contacts, this is where you will relate them to like Bob Barris, and they become the primary contact on that job. Let's see here. Will the desktop version be able to support what the new app can do as far as mapping contacts, appointments, past customers?
Yeah, good question. We are trying to get better, Cooper, at thinking through what role is doing what, right? And where they're going to be doing that. And so those of your employees or staff that are out in the field and are going to be on the app are going to do certain things there. Those that are in the office, like settings and configuration and things like that, that's best suited for an office role primarily, and will be mainly on the desktop version. And so, the web version. And so let's see, you specifically asked about mapping contacts, appointments, past customers. So I would say that the mapping component is primarily an app functionality. But if there was use case otherwise, like we're obviously very, very open to customer feedback on how that might be useful on desktop. Appointments, calendar, all of that is available in the desktop, and we are always working to improve the calendaring functionality and appointment setting and things like that. And I'm not 100% sure what you referred to as we're referring to as past customers. So I don't know on that front, but basically we really are trying to be smart about role-based interactions with our software so that it's very intuitive based on whatever thing you're trying to do and where you're doing it out in the field versus in the office on your.
Can we record receipts when materials are purchased? That is actually so. So when you purchase a material, you will create. Let's go back into Bob Barris here. When you're going to purchase materials, you'll usually create a material order, and this, in a way, kind of acts like the receipt. You send it off to your supplier, and they will send it to you. Now, they usually will also send a receipt with it. If I'm mistaken, please let me know. And that you can upload to your documents. Right now, there isn't a way to record the receipts for the projects.
Other than a manual upload.
Yeah. So that is also great feedback. And we'll take that to heart and talk to the dev team about it. See if there's a way that you can record those receipts.
Yeah. Right now, that way he described of uploading that whatever you receive back from your supplier off that material order to documents is a good way to ensure that image or photo or whatever you use to capture that is on that same contact or job for posterity's sake.
Now, there's also another way that you can help manage the money that you spend on a project, and that is through the use of budgets. Now, with budgets, you can type in the amount that you've been spending on the project. You can also add in line item or even bring in that material order or the estimate to use as line items. So you can really see your profit or your margins on a project.
These have all been great questions, by the way. Thank you for your participation.
Can videos be uploaded? So that is something that you can upload. I've tested this out, and you can upload a video to house it or to store it in JobNimbus, but you cannot play it in JobNimbus. It'll just be there to store, and then someone else can download it on their computer to view. Now, that is also great feedback that we can talk to our devs to see if there's a way that you can preview it in JobNimbus. But right now, like I said, you can upload it to store, but not to view.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how often that's needed, Sean. Like how many jobs you would, percentage wise, would have a video that you may want to add. So thanks for clarifying that. Yep. Obviously, the world's evolving and changing, and that's why we're bringing a better mobile app out there to market and to you as our customers. And digital assets like really high quality photos that can be annotated and commented on, and video maybe another one down the road and things like that. We want to arm you with those types of tools as the world becomes more and more digital every single day. So great feedback.
And we are coming to the end of our time. I think that is it. If you have any last minute questions, hurry up, throw them in, and we'll see if we can fit them in. But otherwise, we thank everybody for joining us today. And Ryan, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's been a blast. I hope to do it again soon.
I see we have someone that raised their hand. I don't know if that was in a goodbye or if they have a question.
Maybe a wave.
So we're waving back. Thank you all. And hopefully we'll see you next week and in our upcoming webinars. Hope you all have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful weekend.
Take care, everybody.